There was once an old woman who lived in a small, quiet village. She had a son whom she loved very much. However, her son was a disobedient boy. He never listened to his mother. "Eat your soup," the old woman would say. But the boy would refuse. "Clean your room," she would plead, but the boy would just run off to play. The old woman sighed. She wished her son would learn to listen. One day the old woman asked her son to fetch water from the well. "Don't stay out late," she warned, "and be careful near the old oak tree." The boy, however, ignored her. He played by the well for hours, forgetting all about his mother's instructions. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the village, the boy finally remembered his task. He hurried towards the well, right past the old oak tree. The wind suddenly picked up, swirling around the tree with a strange howl. The boy, however, paid no attention. The wind grew stronger, whipping the boy's hair and clothes. He shielded his eyes, trying to see through the dust and leaves. That's when he saw it, a monstrous shape forming within the swirling wind. The monster was tall and dark, with glowing red eyes. It had long, sharp claws and teeth like daggers. The boy trembled in fear, finally understanding his mother's warnings. He tried to run, but the wind held him fast, pushing him closer to the monstrous creature. With a deafening roar, the monster reached out its clawed hand and snatched the boy. It lifted him high into the air, laughing at his cries for help. The boy closed his eyes, his heart pounding in his chest. He wished now that he had listened to his mother. The monster carried the boy away from the village into the heart of the swirling wind. The boy could hear his mother's voice calling out his name, but it was too late. He was trapped. The old woman rushed out of the house when she heard her son's screams. Her heart sank as she saw him being carried away by the terrifying creature in the wind. "Please!" she cried out, her voice filled with despair. "Give me back my son!" The monster paused in the air, its red eyes gleaming down at the old woman. "You wish for your disobedient son's return?" It boomed, its voice like thunder. The old woman fell to her knees. "Yes, please," she begged. "I'll do anything." The monster hovered above her, considering her plea. "Very well," it finally said. "I will return your son, but only on one condition." The old woman looked up, hope flickering in her eyes. "What is it?" she asked, her voice trembling. The monster leaned closer, its hot breath making the old woman shrink back. "Your son must promise to obey you. He must listen to your words and follow your instructions." The old woman looked up towards her son, who hung limply in the monster's grasp. The boy, his eyes wide with fear, nodded frantically. I promise I'll listen to my mother," he cried out. The monster turned its fiery gaze upon the boy, studying him for a moment. Then with a grunt, it deposited the boy gently on the ground before the old woman. The wind died down and the monstrous shape dissipated into the air. The boy rushed into his mother's arms, holding her tight. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'll be a good boy now, I promise." The old woman hugged her son close, tears of relief streaming down her face. From that day forward, the boy was a changed child. He listened to his mother and obeyed her without question. He learned the value of obedience and the importance of respecting his mother. The old woman, in turn, was grateful. She realized that sometimes, even through fear and hardship, important lessons were learned. And so, the tale of the disobedient boy and the monster became a story told and retold in the village, reminding everyone of the importance of listening to their parents and the dangers of disobedience.